Hi, I'm Mike Hamilton. I'm over at Lithia Toyota Reading. Behind me, I have a brand new 2022 Toyota Tundra SR5 in the base. I'll be right back. All right, let's start going over this vehicle here. So, Toyota, since 2007 and a half until 2022, had one of the longest runs of the same full-size truck in the half-ton class out there with the Tundra. They did a couple facelifts to it and added a bit of technology to it, but the meat and potatoes, everything about the vehicle was pretty much the same for all those years, like 14 years in a row. They decided a few years ago that they were going to rebuild this thing from the ground up, and there's nothing that's been carried over from the old model to this model. This is a completely brand new, redesigned. Everything about this truck is completely different. I know there's a lot of haters out there right now thinking it's ugly, but hey, it looks like a Silverado, whatever. You know, everything looks like each other nowadays. And anyways, I like it. It's gonna have way more power, way more amenities, way better fuel economy. Reliability is going to be legendary, like Toyota always is. This vehicle has two powertrains. It has a twin turbo V6. The standard, which would be most of the vehicles, is going to be it's going to make 386 horsepower and 437 foot-pounds. This is the SR5. There is a trim below this. It's more of a work truck called the SR. They are dumbing down the engine. My guess is it's similar to what they do with Fords. You know, that employees of companies are going to be not taking care of the vehicle like a private owner would. So the SR version of the vehicle with the same engine is going to make 348 horsepower and 500 foot-pounds, and not released yet. We're hearing in the springtime or late spring. You'll have the twin turbo V6 with the hybrid systems on it. That one is going to be the most powerful vehicle in a full-size truck for a gas model truck, or a half-ton model, at 437 horsepower and 583 foot-pounds, and it's going to make those full max foot-pounds at a pretty low RPM. If I'm recalling, something around 25 or 2700 RPM will make max foot-pounds. So if you imagine you're backing up a pretty good size fifth wheel, that low-end torque's going to really help you out, and it's going to be similar to the power of what a diesel would provide on that low of RPM. Also, the vehicle guesstimates, no, they're not releasing it yet. They're saying probably something like 33 miles a gallon on average. There was a YouTuber I saw that was doing a ride-along in Colorado. He looked at the fuel economy on a hybrid he was in. He said it said 50, but that also was a pre-production media truck that may have had not correct information. I don't believe it would get 50 miles a gallon, but if it does, that will be absolutely incredible. So let's start going over the front here. There's a variety of different front end grills depending on the trim package that you are looking to get into. With this SR5, we have this all black grill here. It's kind of straight through, and I've seen different ones with the limited, and then you have platinum 1794. There's the SR that looks different than this. I guess that little outer edge that goes around that, they've been calling it the Paul Tuttle mustache. You have extra lights now. You have some lights down in here. Imagine those are your fog lights. And then when we get into the TRD Pro, it's so wide they're putting marker lights in the front too now because of that. Full LED headlights for high beams and low beams are on this vehicle. You also have parking sonar. Even this is an SR5 base. It has parking sonar front and back. So let's go ahead and take a look in the engine bay here. So in the back here we have the battery on the left hand side. That looks like a flooded battery. So sealed though, and it looks real clean. Of course, they're putting the engine cover over the engine here to clean things up. You have all your fluids in clear, so you can see real easy if you need anything. Your dipsticks in bright yellow. Everything's just well put together on here. They put the trims here to hide some of the stuff like the lines there, what should be in there for the crumple zones that you'll need for impact, a frontal collision, and those things. Up there underneath the hood, they got a bunch of insulation here to deaden the noise. I was on a test drive in this particular truck earlier this morning, and it is really quiet. Even the outgoing truck was pretty quiet, but this is even more quiet. You got, even for the basic, you got hood struts on here, which is nice. No kickstand for the hood. And then you get some of the information up here on the sticker about the vehicle, and those other things that will tell you about the engine. You got lines up here, bold. Some of this is for your design to give it a good look and appeal, and also some of this is aerodynamics. So they've thought about just about everything in this vehicle. And up in the windshield here, let me try if I can zoom in here. You have a camera system in here. This is equipped with the Toyota Safety Sense 2.5 version, which is the fullest and best version Toyota builds right now. This includes adaptive cruise control, lane departure alert, steer assist, lane trace assistance, pedestrian and cyclist detection are all part of that. You also have the SOS that gives you the emergency services, roadside assistance, stolen vehicle locator are all part of this too. Let's continue on to the side. So you're going to find a variety of different wheel sizes. This is on an 18-inch rim, and what is this? It's Dunlop tire. So they're putting good tires. They're one of the first trucks I've seen had a little bit more aggressive tread than this one here. You have this wheel well protector here, so you don't get rocks and dirt to scratch that up. Mirror caps are not paint matching. The Limited I did a video on originally had matching mirror caps. You do have turn signal indicators on here. You get some of your Tundra badging. Also, let's go over the window sticker, or known as the Moroni sticker. This is a Tundra base 4x2, but everything about this vehicle is the same as a 4x4 except for not having four-wheel drive option. 3.5 again liter twin turboed V6, 389 horsepower, 479 foot-pounds. All your stuff on this left-hand column is called standard equipment. This is how it's going to be built for every vehicle. The stuff on the right side is your optional things on here. So this does have a convenience package. It includes your blind spot monitors, which you can see in your mirror there. And then you have a 32.2 gallon tank in this one here. I believe that basic SR has a smaller tank. You have the non-skid spray-on bed liner over a composite or ballistic plastic bed. All-weather floor mats are in this one here. And let's continue on. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside. Well, first of all, let me show you the proximity key. This is push start. So even at this lowest level, and the keys are starting to look a little bit nicer now. Looks like it has a tailgate release on this here. See if we could try that when we get back there. But you have a proximity key. If I come up to the top, I should be able to lock it with my finger. That locks it. Unlocking it is just putting my hand on the handle. So there you go, that easy. And let's take a look on the inside here. You have the some of this leather edge or soft text trimmed here with different finishes. There is hard plastic. There is a bit of cheapness on this here on these doors. Even like sitting in the truck, they've thought about you having a place to rest your arm, which is pretty cool. The old truck did not have that. You had to put your arms down there. Seems like to be a more convenient spot for a taller individual as myself. I'm 6'2". These are the basic of all the seats they have. No longer is there a 6-seat option to this vehicle, so they do not make that SR5 with the middle bench seat anymore. It's gone, so that's no longer an option. This wasn't a good seller. Big air vents. This thing puts out a lot of good air. Storage for your mobile devices more down here. I will go over that more up here with a power port up there. And then again, this is a fairly base seat here. You'll have different levels of seats for sure. Something to the, they'll have like synthetic leathers, a Softex, to natural leathers, probably with the 2 premium models, which would be your Platinum and your 1794s. I've only seen a limited and a couple SR5s. Gear shifters is really nice, feels really good. And also that's the smaller of the 2 infotainment screens. Not sure if that's a 9 or 10 inch, but there's also the larger 14-inch screen that is available to this vehicle. Back seat is spacious and roomy as it was with the outgoing model. You have, again, 2 places to rest your arm here, so I think that's nice. Again, as a taller individual, when I was in the back here on this test drive, this is where my arm was comfortable to be at. I like that. These seats will fold upwards to, and then underneath is some extra storage. There's looks like a emergency aid kit in there. So that will be there. These will pull back, and you got where your jack tools are at in there, and some extra cubby storage. I don't know if this, I think the more higher end models has also a center armrest. This does not have that. We do have air vents, and we are missing the USBs and stuff that were back there. This, you can see where there's a place to put it, like in the limited I did. If you go into my gallery videos, you can see the limited video I did. They still do LED lighting inside, and that window still fully rolls down. I will demonstrate that when I'm in the truck later on. Let's continue on. So I'm not going to crawl under this truck here, but we have a fully boxed in frame now. Because it's fully boxed, it makes it stiff. They had to change from leaf springs to a torsion suspension. That's the torsion is what Ram uses and had for a long time. So we're going to lose a little bit of articulation, but now we're going to pick up our tow capacity and payload capacities with this vehicle because of the fully boxed in frame. Continuing on, we have our tail lights back here. They are bright in your face. I don't know what to think of them yet. I'm still taking this truck in and everything about it, so I'm glad I got to finally test drive one. Today was my first test drive on this thing. We got class 4 tow with 4 and 7 pin plugs there. Toyota states the tow will up to 12,000 pounds. This is probably one of the configurations that's going to push the high capacity tow on this. We have our backup camera on the tailgate right there. You could grab that handle. On the higher trims there's an elbow button too, and I'll show that in a slide here. Let's go ahead and try this key with that hold to see if this comes down. Oh, look at that. Awesome. That's pretty cool. So, and again, this is composite, like our ballistics plastic, and basically it's harder than steel. It doesn't dent up, scratch up like steel does, and then it is to the spray-on bed liner over it. You know, if Toyota did it, which this is a port option, this is not done at the plant. This is preferenced by our new car manager to have it done this way, and they spray it once it gets to the port. Our port is in Richmond, California. They come on rail from San Antonio, Texas, and then they move on to Richmond, California, where they do stuff like that there, where they're putting in the spray-on bed liners and some of the other accessory options that are part of this vehicle. Bright bed light, as I showed in the intro of this video here, and then they even think of all kinds of stuff. This, the way it's scooped out up on here, so let me walk back around here and show this to you. So if you can see, this up here has a little scoop to it. If you follow that down, you have another little lip up here, and that is so the wind will hit this and bounce off and not get trapped in the bed, and it'll have better aerodynamics to it. So something that they thought of everything. The other little things right here, you don't even think that's anything. It's called a wind vortex generator. All I can tell you is it scrubs off bad air, makes little funnels. It's something that comes from airplanes and aeronautics, and they've adopted that, and it just helps out with less wind noise and better fuel economy. This is where there's the elbow button on the higher levels, so I'm not sure if that's going to just start with the limiteds on up, or an SR5 with a more upgraded package like a premium or higher level SR5 that's got more upgrades will have that. Also, this is missing TRD off-road suspension. That would be your Bilstein shocks. That will give you a better ride for off-roading, of course. And this thing rode nice just the way it is. So plenty of suspension for you for a daily driving. We have a gas fill here. I wish they would go to this where you just have the little plug and not the screw-on gas cap. But this is now 32.2 gallons. But with the additional fuel economy, this has more range than the old truck has. Let's continue over here to the driver's side on the passenger, and I'm going to get in and show you the leg space. Move the floor mats out of the way. That's our all-weather floor mats in here. It does come with sliding bed tie downs here, so those are there. And then coming in, and that seat was back for me, and I probably at least got 6 to 8 inches here of leg space, even with the seat back for me at 6'2". So an over 6 foot tall person can sit easily and comfortably behind another 6 foot tall person. And let's take a look at the layout of the front there from the back seat. Toyota's giving you bottle holders and 2 down here, and you got 2 more up here for the back seat passengers. So if you're really thirsty, each one of you in the back seat here, at least if there's 2 passengers, 4 places or 3 places for a bottle holder. And coming on again, we do have the black handles on here that they're not color coded to the vehicle. When you get to those higher levels, you'll get color coded. Now this is interesting. I'm not even sure why they did this. There's a vinyl sticker on here that is cutting off the paint here, and I don't know if it's just for looks and why they did that. But you just have these vinyl pieces around this window here. Very interesting. And again, a nicer, larger, improved mirror with blind spot monitors even on the lower level, which is a really nice option. Let's go ahead and take a look on the inside of, starting into the driver's door here. All the same, of course, as we were on the other side, except for now we have all the controls. We have our power windows, our power locks, our power mirrors, lockout window so the kiddos can't keep opening up things. Again, no power seat on this one. I would say there's going to be a higher level SR5 that will give you a power seat, as they did have that in the past. Really nice steering wheel. Now this isn't the leather wrapped stitched steering wheel, so you'll see a nicer steering wheel again on the higher levels. And then you have your buttons here. There's part of your Toyota safety sense in here, your bed lights here. This A off, that's your auto dimming high beam. Let me get in on that. So auto dimming high beam is here. This button here, a lot of people ask me what this is. So federal laws are requiring vehicles not to idle at stoplights, and this shuts, they'll shut the vehicle down, and then it kind of shimmy and start up again. Well, that, once you push that button once, it overrides that, and so the engine won't shut off, but at least it's there because they have to follow the laws. You got your gauge dimmers, your trip over here, and then you have rear backup stop here so you don't back into something, even though you got sonar and a backup camera. And then you have levelers for your lights here. So let me get back in here. So I was kind of off there. I was looking at it, not looking at my screen. But you have levelers for lights. So as the back starts to squat, your headlights start to go up. You could level those lights out so you don't blind somebody and get them upset with you. There is no power telescopic on this one here. Power telescopic, again, is going to be something you're going to see in the a higher level, again, like Platinum or 1794, I would imagine. Even the Limited did not have that. And then the seats here, we have some kind of patterns and stitching on here. Good materials. Even the older Tundras, that stuff has lasted for a long time. Let's go ahead and start this thing up. All right, let's go over this steering wheel control. So everything for your driver's information center, which is the screen in the middle, you'll see it when I start up, is controlled by this steering wheel here. On this side here, we have the stuff that these buttons will control the different screens and things that does. Down here we have our radio, push to talk. You can use that for your Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Now this does have wireless Apple CarPlay. That's been a complaint, as Toyota's only had plugged in wire CarPlay except for the Supra, because that's not Toyota electronics, that's BMW electronics. This side here's got your cruise control, your lane departure, adaptive cruise control, and radio modes are down at the bottom of this screen here. Let's go ahead and start her up. This is your startup sequence here. Let me get in here so you can see the entry sequence. Has just like 30 miles on it or something right now, 34 miles, so it really hasn't got any trip information yet. And let's go start with the eco screen here and go over here. So eco is your economy. This is an eco meter, so if when you're driving, it will have a bar in green. You get past that, then you're getting past your best fuel economy. Outside temperature, it reads the speed limits, so I can't even really zoom in on it because it's too bright, but what last speed limit it read, it said 35. So read speed limits and stop signs, and we'll display that here. And let's continue on. Digital miles per hour, so if you don't want to use the analogs, you'll have that as an option. And back to that screen, let's move over to the next screen here. You have your compass coordinates. Here's your lane departure and lane trace, your adaptive cruise control. So if I set the cruise there and then I push this button, 3 bars or for 3 seconds of pacing, and you go 2.5 or 2 seconds of pacing behind a slower moving vehicle. So as you come up on a slower vehicle, it will slow down and maintain a gap of those seconds behind the vehicle that's in front of you that's going slower, so you don't have to get on and off your cruise control. Next screen here is your radio information on here. Again, you could change the channels from the stereo. You could also call it out through the push to talk button and change it that way. And also you could change it from the infotainment screen itself. Trip monitors are on here. PSI or TPS monitors. Apparently that's a law now. You got to have that on vehicles now. So TPS monitors are a standard now in vehicles. I don't know if they have to all display the actual PSI, but definitely have to show that somewhere. And then not even sure, this is something looks like on the again, this is really my second time field. This is a trail towing mode thing for this vehicle, and I think you could zoom in on your one of your backup cameras to look at the trailer ball, and then it could also help you assist in backing up with a vehicle. And this is all your Toyota safety sense, lane departure alert, pre-collision systems, blind spot monitors are on here, parking sonar, rear cross traffic alert. So if somebody's coming and you're coming out of a parking spot blind, like you can't see around the vehicle that's beside you, the sonar's looking around the corner for you, and you can see a person walk into a vehicle coming and alert you, and it'll audibly beep and then flash in your mirror from the direction that somebody's coming from. This is the one, RSA is the one that reads your speed limits as you go by and your stop signs. And then you have trailer setting and trailer light checks and other features that I'm going to have to learn about. I haven't had not any training on this, so I'm kind of doing this on the fly, even though I've done a bunch of research on videos myself on this. No messages. If there was a problem with this vehicle, this becomes your only screen. So let's open up the door, and it's now it's going to performance auto. You know, it tells me a door is open and ajar, and when you do that. So again, but like other engine issues, charging issues, it's going to tell you that. And then we still have analog gauges. Toyota loves their analog gauges still. They're not going full digital until you get into the higher levels of the vehicle. So you do have digital miles per hour, fuel gauge, temperature gauge, oil, charging, and your tachometer are all part of that. All right, let me show you on this side where we have our push to start button, and then we have our trailer brake gain plus minus on here. So that's real nice. So it's already built with built-in trailer brakes, and then I like the combination. Let me back this up a little bit because it's kind of hard to see. I like the combination of hard buttons with digital buttons on this here. So we have, again, like buttons for controlling your air, heat and temperature, up and down, fan speeds, the flows of air are all in here. This is your main primary port for porting in stuff from your phone into this infotainment screen. Again, now it's Apple CarPlay wireless, so that's a really nice feature. We have a cubby up here for your electronics and a charging port up there, and then this is where the wireless charging pad goes on the more premium model of this vehicle here. Okay, and then we have our buttons for auto on, full blast air, off, front defrost, rear defrost, heated mirrors, AC on and off, inside outside air, all in this, emergency flashers, traction control off. This is a neat button right here. So let me try to get in on this. So we have, this thing has electronic e-brake, so no manual e-brake, and that hold there is brake hold. So once that thing is set, you come to complete stop, it will show you on a dash hold in yellow. You can take your foot off the brake, the vehicle will not move until you push the gas pedal, so you don't have to continuously keep your foot on the gas pedal. This shifter is, let me switch hands here. This shifter is killer. Here, I'm gonna get back up this camera just a little bit. The grip on this thing is so meaty and nice. I like it a lot. I just love the feeling of that. And it's just got a nice grip. Matter of fact, I was watching the customer today, like driving, and he wouldn't take his hand off of that, and I commented on it and stuff. I said, you like that? I like that shifter on. It's a nice feel. Just was driving it one hand and had his hand on that shifter. And then you have modes here. So you'll have the drive mode on here. So on off-road or 4x4 models, you'll have terrain management modes on here. This one just has drive modes for tow haul and doesn't have your other terrain management, being it's a 2x. Let's go ahead and look at that backup camera. The backup camera's improved quite a bit. It's fisheye, but the clarity is good. It's got a really wide range. I don't know what the degrees are, but it shows you the direction, where you're at, where you're going, and that green line is how you line up for doing your trailer, and I guess that helps you also steer assist this vehicle. Let's take a look further down. We have a cubby down here. We have a USB-C, USB-A in there. We have our glove box over there. Again, cubbies for more electronics are there. No auto dimming mirror. Normally this is where Toyota would put the auto dim mirror, and then below, like, you'll have home link for your garage door memory sets. You have on here the SOS button. So this is a shared platform with several manufacturers, but it's similar to OnStar. So it's emergency services. So if you're ever in an emergency, you can push that button to call for help. If you're in an accident where airbags ever deployed, then it's going to alert the call center once this thing is registered, and they'll be calling out and seeing if you need help. It has like some sort of mobile data, so they could locate you if you're unresponsive, give emergency personnel vital information to rescue you, save your life, know how fast you're going, where you're at, those things like that. It does roadside assistance, and also has stolen vehicle locator. We have our dome lights here for LED dome lights, so that's a real nice thing. And then let's go ahead and take a look at that rear slider here. So we have our rear slider back there, and just like the outgoing Tundras, only one that has that is Toyota. So the whole window rolls down. That's a really nice feature. Let's go and take a look at your infotainment screen. This one's I'm trying to figure out everything about this here, but this is, like, you got maps that needs to get set up. Our audio sources, this got AM, FM, Sirius XM. You could Bluetooth your other music in through your phone. You got your phone connection. The old ones did at least 5 different phones, and then data for the vehicle, like basically trip information, mileage to empty. Really not much filling it at this point. Hope you like the tour of this truck here. Again, the only thing is missing, again, this is 4x, and then there's extra features with this SR5. Again, I'm sure you're going to see power seats on this, and a few extra features, maybe a better audio system. I think the larger infotainment is reserved to the highest levels of the vehicle, like the limited 1794 Platinum and the TRD Pros. I don't know the SR5, but this is the size of infotainment you're going to get. But anyways, the way this one sits here is $46,000 and change. That's up in price from what a basic one used to cost. But a lot of engineering going into this truck. A lot of things were well thought out. They really improved this truck over what it had. And then some people have been worried about having a twin turbo V6 and longevity. Toyota's assured, well, I would say Toyota's assured. A guy I watched that worked for Toyota as an engineer says Toyota dynos their engines to last 5 million miles. They run them until they break, figure out what broke, make it stronger, until they can get 5 million miles out of their engines. Be rest assured, this is going to be an engine that's going to last a very long time. And also, it's not a new engine. It came out of a LC500 Lexus. It's just retuned for this vehicle, so it's been around for years already in the Lexus family. Again, I want to thank you for watching my video. We'll see you next time.